Yo, what up, guys? We're back. And when I tell you, every time I try to do something good, every time I try to do right by this channel, it's like God is always throwing a little wrench up in my in my operations or something. Cause I was trying to go stream through the OBS situation, and man, when I tell you that um I've been sitting on my desk since about 8 o'clock this morning. I've been sitting here for a couple of hours, y'all, just trying to get everything good. And I sat here, and it took me a couple hours to realize that OBS is not letting you stream horizontally or vertically. I mean, up and down without some type of plugin, right? It won't let you do the stream with the horizontal and the vertical at the same time without a plugin. But it's okay because we're here now and we're looking good, so it doesn't even matter, right? But welcome back to all my people who are here. Um, we're gonna have to talk about three very hard hitting topics this morning, and really prove one. We're gonna prove that the tide is finally turning in this country. A lot of people have a lot of different opinions, but no one wants to come out and say, hey, things are getting better. We came off of 4 years under Biden that took us to the brink of destruction as a middle class people here in America. And though we have a situation going on in the Middle East or in the Persian Gulf, I believe it's safe to say that we are finally starting to bounce back from Biden's reign of economic terror. First and foremost, the U.S. Marines just sent a massive message to our enemies in Iran and to the doomers and the black pillars who want to keep going with this constant false narrative of the United States losing in Iran, or somehow claiming that a country that's getting totally bombed out, Air Force totally destroyed, Navy decimated, the once tough talking Ayatollah Khamenei, he's dead. The new leader, his son, we don't know where bro is at. And basically these guys are hiding in a hole right now, sending out threats that they can't back up. For some reason, there are people in our country who believe that this means that Iran is winning, and somehow the United States is losing. But our Marines sent a message to these haters, and it was loud and clear. They seized an Iranian cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz after Iran tried to test us. Okay? We blocked off the strait. Nobody's going in and out, until negotiations are had and until Iran capitulates. So we open the strait back up. We're letting ships go through. A bunch of ships scurry through. And then Iran wants to get cute. They want to start firing on ships that are leaving from their port, right? In an effort to scare other ships that are leaving from other ports. So, we did what we did. We seized an Iranian cargo ship after we shot it. Strength is back. Speaking of strength, because that was just the intro. Don't go nowhere. We're going to get into that in detail. But speaking of strength, President Trump's America First drug policy is actually working. You know, the one where he was blowing up the ships? It's actually working. And we have the numbers to prove it. we have the numbers to show how Trump's war on fentanyl is actually paying off. And last but not least, we're seeing that while the adults are in charge in Washington, Brandon Johnson and the despot Democrats still want to play games in Chicago. The Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson, is now declaring war on the federal government, choosing to sue the president of the United States and the government. You really, because the people make the government. Brandon Johnson is suing us in order to protect illegal immigrants while our neighborhoods are left to rot. He'd rather fight for people who shouldn't even be in this country than the taxpayer who pays his salary. We're going to break it all down right here, right now. What should my intro be? Let's get into it.
We're going to begin with this, the signs that the war with Iran may not be over soon. This video provided by the U.S. military appears to show Marines seizing an Iranian cargo ship near the Strait of Hormuz, a first in this war. We have learned more U.S. forces are headed to the region, including an additional aircraft carrier. And Iran now says it never agreed to a second round of negotiations, despite claims by President Trump. Charlie Daggett has been following every twist of from Tel Aviv on this story. Charlie, good morning. There's a lot of twists and turns in this story. More to come, I'm sure. Good morning.
Good morning, Gail. More to come. Now, with the clock running down on that ceasefire, tensions are only cranking up. Iran shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, opening fire on passing oil tankers. And U.S. officials I spoke with this morning say the crew of that Iranian ship just ignored warnings after a 6-hour standoff. First, the U.S. Navy destroyer warns the crew of the Iranian cargo ship Toska.
Motor vessel Toska, vacate your engine room. Vacate your engine room. We're prepared to subject you to disabling fire.
Several rounds are fired toward the vessel. Later, under the cover of darkness, U.S. Marines launch a helicopter raid, rappelling onto the deck of the stricken ship, which is now in U.S. custody. Central Command said while more than 24 commercial vessels have been turned back, this is the first seizure since the U.S. blockade was imposed last week. U.S. officials said that Toska, headed toward Iran, failed to comply with orders despite 6 hours of warnings. Iran has threatened to retaliate, the most serious threat yet to the fragile ceasefire that expires this week. While the U.S. military presence in the region continues to grow, officials tell CBS News the USS Gerald R. Ford, which has now undergone the longest aircraft carrier deployment since the Vietnam War, has rejoined the fight, transiting the Suez Canal to the Red Sea. More than 50,000 U.S. troops and the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier remain in this region, and more are on the way. A third carrier, the George H.W. Bush, is due to arrive by the end of the month, to be joined by thousands more Marines sailing from the Asia-Pacific region. This morning, Iranian officials described the capture of that merchant vessel as a hijacking and an act of piracy. Now, we know that ship had been identified under U.S. sanctions, but it's not exactly clear what it was carrying. Matt?
Charlie, thank you.
Okay, so we can see that things are definitely escalating in the region, and the United States clearly is not ready to back down. That's something I like. And Iran, even though they're they're blown to hell, they seem to still want to act tough. On April 19, 2026, the U.S. Navy destroyer USS Spruance intercepted the Iranian flagship Toska in the Gulf of Oman. After the crew ignored 6 hours of warnings to comply with the blockade, U.S. forces fired, disabling shots into the engine room. U.S. Marines from the 31st Marine Expedition Unit then boarded the ship and seized the vessel. So it's looking like America's patience is wearing thin with Iran. And let's be honest, all Iran has really is just tough talk. There are two weapons that Iran possesses. Hold on one second. Damn it. Let's see if that clears it up. Man, this blurring situation is just killing me. It's taking me out. I'm not gonna lie. But there are really just two weapons that Iran possesses when it comes to trying to fight the United States. And one of those is their mouth, which they don't stop running that, and the sentiment of the American people. And I want people to understand that Iran is relying on the United States citizens to turn on the government concerning this situation. Even in the comments, I see some of you saying, well, I don't know why the United States is fighting Israel's war on Iran. Guys, listen, use your brain. That's all God gave it to you. Put it to use. When Iran killed 600 Marines, U.S. Marines, was that just Israeli citizens? When Iran killed 46 Americans and then kidnapped 100 more, was that just Israelis? No, it wasn't. That was just 2 years ago on October 7th. When Iran wakes up in the morning and chants death to America, are they just chanting death to Israel? When Iran built a missile that can go past Israel and hit the UK, do you think they're working on that technology so they can just launch missiles at Israel? As much as you can say whatever you want, Iran has been engaged in a long-standing conflict with America for like 40-something years. This idiot Dean Withers, the little white boy who's only 21 or something, who says, I researched my way out of being a conservative, who speaks on Obama and the JPOC agreement with authority when he was not even 10 years old when that agreement was made. This guy's literally, he shows me when I watch him, when I watch his show on TikTok or wherever, when I see him, because I can only watch it about for 10 minutes before I get totally annoyed. I realize that we're dealing with a shadow, a veil. You know what a veil is? This is like a veil, right? A veil is like what they wear in Iran, right? This is what the American people have on their face right now. Many of us. There are those of us who know what the hell's going on, but then there are those of us who are like wearing a veil. We might as well be living in Iran right now because we choose to have a veil of ignorance. See, our veil is not physical. Our veil is mental, psychological. You're fighting Israel's war, but Iran is screaming death to America. You're fighting Israel. Okay, if this is the case, why is Iran fighting Palestine's war? Let's sit it there. Why is Iran fighting Palestine's war against against Israel? If someone's throwing shots at you and attacking your people, that makes it your issue. When Iran was sending thousands of IEDs and roadside bombs to Afghanistan and Iraq to blow up American troops and blow their limbs off, were they just attacking Israelis? So I don't understand that. And for the most part, it seems like Israel is focused on Lebanon and we're still going at Iran. Israel can't prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. When they get a nuclear weapon, do you think Iran needs a nuclear weapon to defeat Israel? They don't. Iran can fight them with ballistic missiles, which is what they've been doing. Guys, the nuke is for us. The nuke is to stop America because they can't beat us in conventional warfare. So they need the nuke for us. I don't get that. Oh, you're fighting. Why are we fighting their war? No, it's your war. You just don't want to accept that it's your war because it makes you feel better thinking that it's somebody else's problem. That's what Americans, we do that very well. It's called deflection. We try to deflect shit from ourselves onto other people. Israel has their beef with Iran as well, as do the Saudis. Look, the Saudis have beef with Iran. The Emiratis have beef with Iran. Right now, at this point, the Indians have beef with Iran. Let's keep it going. All these countries have beef with Iran, but you'll just say, oh, this is Israel's fight. No, it's not, bro. I talk to people all over the place. I have friends from everywhere. And everyone unanimously agrees, hey, Iran is a problem because they're willing to fund terrorism, people who attack civilians, right? They're so mad about the Hormuz Strait, they're shooting at Indian civilians. And Indian is supposed to be their ally. India is supposed to be their ally. So now they got beef with India now because of what they're doing. Understand something. They're a problem for everybody because they're like a vicious rabid dog. They'll bite anybody who doesn't do what they think they should be doing. That means they're a problem for everybody. And we have the muscle and the might to just eliminate them. So this looks like it's the end of America's patience for Iran. Okay? We're seizing ships. For years, the U.S. took a wait-and-see approach. Now we're seeing the direct application of this blockade. And we have to wonder, is this the only way to get Iran to actually come to the table? They're totally defeated, but they're just going to keep being a nuisance and an annoyance until they can get America to make a mistake that will turn the world against us because people love to have sympathy for terrorists, whatever. But the ship, the Tuska, was already under sanction by the United States Treasury, right, for prior illegal activity. So seizing that ship prevents Iran's dark fleet from funding proxy wars. Everything is connected. For as much as we have the conspiracy theorists who claim to see everything, isn't it funny how they are blind to how dangerous and deadly Iran really is? Do you understand that? Do you understand it? Isn't it crazy how these people can constantly tell you how you don't see and you don't get it? But when you ask them questions about what Iran is doing globally, they have no clue. Or either they choose to not understand. I hear people saying the United States is evil because they killed 127 little girls at a school by misfiring a missile. But the same people won't acknowledge that Iran is evil for killing, the number is now 50,000 protesters. And then, my Muslim friends who sympathize with Iran, they say, they shot those, so they acknowledge that they shot the protesters, right? My Muslim friends, they acknowledge that Iran killed 40,000 of its own people, which is crazy in itself for protesting. But what they say is, oh, well, Mossad and Israel were in the crowds that were protesting the collapse of the Iranian economy due to the hyperinflation, right? And so I ask a very pointed question. I say, okay, that's cool. Let's say Mossad, which is like the Israeli version of the CIA, right? Let's say Mossad was in the crowd, right? So say you got all these hundreds of thousands of people, right? They're unhappy with their government, kind of like the No Kings protesters. And so for whatever reason, Iran doesn't use tear gas. They don't use rubber bullets. They don't use billy clubs. They don't use shields. They don't use any of the equipment that can be purchased to deal with mobs and rioters, looters, and protesters, right? Now, if you in America, they're going to hit you with the tear gas. That's going to get you running off rip. Then if you really tough, they're going to hit you with the rubber bullets. That's going to get you running or knock your ass out, damn near kill you to where you can't march no more. Or they could use the billy club, the old school tactics, go for the knees and the elbows and just whoop your ass, right? On their own people, they used none of this. They literally lined up with guns and was like, open fire, and killed 35,000. Now the estimate has risen to 50,000 people Proven though. Proven. Okay. So that's one. To prove one fact that proves they're evil. They use lethal force on their own people instead of using tools that are available. They can import everything else. They could make all these ballistic missiles. They can produce drones like no other. They got all this capability. They're trying to build nukes, but they can't manufacture tear gas. They can't make rubber bullets. They can't use less than lethal force to deal with innocent civilians who are just unhappy because the economy sucks. So something that makes any population protest because they're tired of their money not going far, right? They didn't do any of that. They said open fire. And so people said Mossad was in the crowd. Let me ask y'all a question. If Mossad, the equivalent of the Israeli equivalent of the CIA, was in the crowd, why, once they killed all these people, you don't have any dead Mossad agents? So they were shooting into the crowd because Mossad was in the crowd, but they didn't manage to hit any Mossad agents. They only hit their own people. Make that make sense? Make that make sense to me? We did all this shooting because look, if you had hit one or two or even captured one or two Mossad agents, you could have justified what you did. Hey, they got these secret intelligence people in here. They rallying up the crowd and they turning on us, right? You could justify what you did. But they haven't produced a single Mossad agent. That's how you know that it's bullshit. And now, just in case you guys didn't know, all these people who are like, oh man, you can't even tell us how it started. Here's another fact. They're literally executing right now. This is a fact. They've given this information. They are literally executing people who are protesting in that group. Are they saying these people committed treason? These people did counterintelligence? Are they like making these people, are they interrogating these people on video for them to admit, yes, I was working for Israel in the United States, and then executing them? No. They're charging them with crimes against God. Females. They're doing this to females too. They're charging them with crimes against God and then hanging them. All I'm saying is, if all these conspiracies that y'all throwing out here about the virtue of Iran and how it's just the fact that Israel and the United States are going after them that makes them behave like animals, where's the evidence? They're executing a bunch of women. See, people aren't even looking at the facts. People aren't even studying the facts. This is all over the news, and I guess that's why you guys watch me, to inform you. I guess it's my job to inform you, but you got to come back to the channel because I did a whole expose on it. Somebody put 130 Mossad agents have been captured according to Google. Come on, bro. Where are they? Give us the names. If you're doing everything you're doing to capture Mossad agents, where are they? Even when Hamas captured those people on October 7th, they showed you videos of them. Even down in those tunnels, they were showing you videos of them. We got your people. Stop this bullshit. And I would challenge you to show me the evidence of that. But we do know the women who they're executing because they've announced that they're executing these women. And why do they do that? They announce it because they want to scare people from doing what those women did, which was protest the government. On April 15th, they executed Bita Hamadi. She's a human rights group, reported that Bita Hamadi was sentenced to death. She is believed to be the first woman sentenced to death in connection with the January 2026 protest. This is where they killed all of 40,000 people. She was convicted alongside her husband and two neighbors for actions allegedly carried out on behalf of the United States of America. Tayyip Hekmat, earlier this year on January 5th, 2026, 56-year-old Tayyip Hekmat was executed in Zanjan Central Prison. She was the first woman recorded to be executed, though her case was related to a criminal murder charge rather than political activism. So far, since March 19th, they've executed 15 political prisoners, including members of political opposition groups and protesters from the January uprising. Pakshan Azizi, she's a Kurdish activist. She's on death row right now, waiting to be executed. People are saying that her trials were unfair, grossly railroaded. Zara Shabazz Tabari, she's been sentenced to death. And they said they charged her with armed rebellion. And last year, they executed at least 48 women, which is the highest number in over a decade. But what I'm telling you is, where is the evidence of this stuff? You scream international law, right? You scream international law. Oh, United States is violating international law. But y'all have no problem with that. On top of the fact that they killed 50,000 of their own people. But the United States is a monster. So if I went outside and I killed 10 people and was like, man, those people were CIA agents watching my house, you guys wouldn't say, oh man, well, the CIA shouldn't have been watching bro house. Y'all wouldn't say that. You guys would be like, he's a murderer. He deserves to go to jail. He deserves to get on death row. These people are literally this is fear tactics. They know most of these people had nothing to do with Mossad, but they're doing it to make an example. Right? They're making an example. You said there's 130 Mossad agents captured. But then I'm reading today, right now, that they've just executed a handful of women who they said did stuff on behalf of the United States. So why haven't the 130 Mossad agents been executed? Why are they still alive? Where are they? That's my question. Where are they? They will publicly tell you about everybody else, but the Mossad agents are nowhere to be found. You want to believe that. That's all that is. You don't care about the facts. You don't care about what's true. You want to believe that because that makes you feel better about hating Israel. And I don't hate or love Israel, but I don't hate them. I don't love them. It's typical bigotry. I'm going to believe something I know is bullshit because I want to hate someone. That's literally and this is the worst part. You're not unique because a lot of people in these demographics, a lot of liberals, they have the same sentiment. And when so many people believe one way, that means that you are involved in high-level programming, fear-based programming. No Israeli ever beat you up, hurt you, shot you, stabbed you, slapped your mama, did nothing. But for some reason, you've developed this hatred for them, and they haven't done nothing to you. How can I hate somebody for what they're doing to people who I don't even know or care about? You don't care about Palestine. You don't. I don't. And I'm black just like you. We do. We are the most lying-ass hypocritical group of people on earth. We don't give two shits about Palestine. We've just been trained through fear-based programming and propaganda that now it's time to hate Israel. And the people whose mind is weak, they're going to allow themselves to be trained in that way. Me, I'm going to say, well, I don't give a shit about them enough to hate them or like them. It is what it is. I ain't losing no sleep over them. I'm not saying I care about the women getting slaughtered, getting executed, because I don't. But I'm just pointing out a convenient fact. You're telling me 130 people got caught from Mossad, and I'm telling you, black man, use the brain that God gave you. If these dudes caught 130 secret agents from another country, they would literally be parading them through the street. That's what they do. That's what they do. So when you explain to me why we haven't seen these 130 agents paraded through the street, why people throwing eggs and dog shit at them, then I'll explain to you why, then I'll start hating Israel with you. It doesn't add up, guys. It's just like when these people were saying, oh, they captured one of the pilots who got shot down. We knew that was a lie. That didn't stop the conspiracy theorist dudes from telling the lie. They knew it was a lie. They knew it was a lie. But Iran's the one who said it. Right? No, proud FBA. Go ahead. Look, this is ignorance. People can call me ignorant, but can't understand the ignorance of hating a group of people that never did anything to you, and you don't even know why you hate them. You hate them because you just been told to. Well, I hate them because we're giving money to the U.S. Bro, but you don't hate, we gave a bunch of money to Iran. We're giving a bunch of money to Ukraine. But you didn't see the hatred for Ukraine. We've given Ukraine tons of money in the past couple years for what? To fight Russia, which is stupid. I don't agree with that either. I don't even agree with giving Israel money. But we've been doing it for so many decades. And why just now, today, do you hate them? That's my question. That's my question. Why do you just hate them now? Why did the hatred of them just build up today for you? You didn't even go this crazy when they was dogging out Kyrie. You didn't even go this crazy when they was coming for Ye. You only hate them to this degree because you've been told to hate them. You don't want to understand. We don't understand that the white liberal female control the black community because they control the black female, and the black female control the black community. I'm not a Zionist. I don't care anything about Zionists. I don't get money from those Zionists. None of that. And that's the problem, Free Game Pod. You can't even understand how I'm trying to pull you up out of the ignorance by saying, look, black man, this ain't really your issue. You've been programmed to believe this is your issue. That's all that is. You've been programmed to believe this is your issue. Iran will put you down just as quick as Israel will. They don't care about you, don't know you, don't like you, none of that. None of that. I'm not even saying Bibi like you. He hate you. He a racist, I'm sure. But what I'm telling you is, why are you hating one more than the other one? Why are you disliking and hating one more than the other one? That's what I don't understand. One's trying to figure out a way to kill you, and one's stealing your money. I get the anger for both. Why do you only have anger for the one that's taking your money, but you don't have no anger for one trying to kill you, working every day to get the weapons they need to annihilate you? It doesn't make sense. If you really sit down and compartmentalize this shit, you'll realize we are freaking gone mentally. We're tripping. We are tripping. 100% Free Game. It's not your issue at all. So why do I got black people sending me videos? Oh, bro, you got to understand how evil Israel is. Okay. I thought we understood that the whole government was evil. That's what black folks used to say. That's what black folks used to tell me. Now it's been whittled down to one group. No, it's a bunch of people, including black people, involved in this bullshit. I ain't going to hate one over the other one. I'm going to just hate them all and try to figure out how I can get from up under them. That's what I'm going to do. But that's what we understood as a people. But as more of our people succumb to fear-based manipulation, they're going to literally be able to program you to go after exactly who they want you to go after. They have figured out how to program these idiots to go after exactly who they want us to go after, like a true fucking attack dog. Don't attack these assholes taking advantage of you. Just go after this one group of assholes. No, bro, because while you're going after that one group, the rest are still manipulating you. You're not addressing it holistically. That means if you say you get in a fight and a bunch of people jump you, if you focus too much on one, the other's going to come be able to hit you from the side. And that's what they're doing. The Democrat Party is literally right now manipulating the African American to set him up for victory in the midterms and going forward. But we know the Democrats don't give a fuck about us. We know the Democrats ain't going to do nothing for us. They've proven that, right? But what they've successfully done is they've programmed a certain number of us, like a damn robot, to make us so angry at Israel, we're going to vote them back into office in the midterms. Knowing when we do that, we're really not going to get shit. Knowing that when we do that, the attack on our community will continue through illegal immigration. Tell me right now, are you attorney type? Tell me right now. I'm with you. With all due respect, you don't even have to respect me. No, I'm not. How? Tell me how I'm coming off program. With all due respect, I'm asking you, are you angry enough at Israel and the United States fighting, quote unquote, on behalf of Israel, which we've been doing and we're going to continue to do even if Democrats get elected? We just had Biden for 4 years. Did we stop sending money to Israel? No, we didn't. But let me ask you a question. Are you mad enough at this bullshit they programmed you to be mad at to vote Democrat in the midterms in the next election? That's the question I just need to ask every black person. Are you mad enough? Are you mad enough at Israel to destroy your own community? To let them finish the job of displacing you with illegal immigrants? Because I think we know what's going to happen when Democrats get back in power, if they do. Are you mad enough at Israel way the fuck over there to allow your community and your people to get destroyed right here? That's the only question that needs to be asked. And look, if you answer that question, I got no more smoke for you. I got no more smoke for you. No, I'm not in nothing election mode. I'm still in facts mode. See, these people go election to election and they mind change, right? Oh, now it's something different. No, it's not. Because I understand that the Democrat agenda is something that's going to span for more than 20 years. They set you up for 20 years since Obama. They set this shit up since 2008. So if it took them damn near 20 years to set it up, what make you think they're not willing to spend 20 years to execute it? See, they're smarter than us in that they understand the impact that their actions will have years after they're dead. Oh, you want the link? For sure. For sure. They understand the impact that this is going to have years after they're dead. Hey guys, we're going to get into the other stuff. We got this is our first topic. We're going to do the second topic. We're still coming up with the Trump is winning the war on drugs. If you want to know how, stick around for that. And then we got the Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson, is suing the federal government to continue the fraud in Chicago. Okay, he's literally suing our government so he can continue to give illegal immigrants money. And we figured out how he was doing it, and I'm going to expose that today too. Okay, let me ask you my question, and then you can have the floor. Are you angry enough at Israel and America for fighting Israel war, which we've been doing for 60, 70 years? We've been doing this. It's an old thing, but we got new anger at it. Are you angry enough to vote for Democrats in the midterm and in the next election and let them continue to flood the country with illegal immigrants, which we know, based on Obama's study, disproportionately affects black folks in the
It depends, man. Because you got to understand the Israel thing, that's both sides of the aisle. So it depends on what it's coming down to is the thing that we've been trying to get people to do before the Trump stuff was to stop being so loyal to one party. And that's what's starting to happen because of the Israel thing. So people are looking closer and they're looking at both sides of the aisle. And they're going to start filtering out those that support Israel or funded by AIPAC and stuff like that. So it's not just an automatic vote for the Democrat. Both parties are under pressure to drop Israel.
Okay. So like I said,
and they do have way too much influence.
If you have a
representatives that don't jive with Israel, bro.
So if you have
they have the power. They have too much control in our politics.
So that's totally fine. Illegal, criminal, alien migrants from El Salvador have too much control in our politics too. Here's my question. I'm asking the same question. If there's a Democrat candidate who's like F Israel, right? I'm not taking no AIPAC money, but I am down to with my party to let 20 million more illegal immigrants into this country without no vetting, like they did under Biden. And there's a Republican who's like, I'm balls to the walls for Israel. I'm a vote for them to get funded like we've been doing for 50 years or more every time. Are you going to choose the Democrat? But I'm going to fight to keep those illegal immigrants from coming up in here, taking these jobs and displacing the black community. Which one you voting for? Your problem directly as a black man, or a problem that has existed for 50, 60, stopping a problem that really impacts nobody, really, that's been existed for 60, 70 years. Who you voting for? Hello? Are you still there? Yo. Hello?
Yeah, my shit free.
No, I just heard that when you said my shit freezing up. What the heck, man? This guy's the most technologically advanced person I know. But while he gets his stuff together, that's the question. The borders are shut down right now, bro. What are you talking about? Immigration is less than 1%. Go ahead. Okay, you good?
Hey, froze. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. So which one are you voting? This is the exciting part.
I mean, it really depends. It depends, man. It depends.
Depends.
I can't give you a full answer on a hypothetical. Let me ask you this. Have you seen the polling lately?
Okay, wait. Now ask me that same question.
You're going to vote for the Republican, bro. Like we all know.
But here's the question. You know why
no matter
I'm
what.
gonna vote. No.
You're kind of acting like a black liberal, bro, when it comes to the Republicans.
Wait. Why am I going to vote for the Republican? See, you can reduce me down to you're just doing it because you hate Democrats. But in reality, what we need to do is ask, why would I do that? Why do I already know I'm voting for the Republican?
So the issue today is that their influence is too strong, and the public is seeing that they are becoming a distraction from what they believe is more domestic policy that should be getting done. There's not much moving through the House and the Senate for the United States. So people are looking at that as this is a distraction. And then when they see their influence in political campaign donations and stuff like that.
What I'm trying to tell you is their influence has not changed. It's literally been to this level.
Israel's not a Republican issue.
Listen, wait a minute. Listen. But what I'm telling you is you've been living with this, and the United States has been living with this since way before either one of us were born. So it's a situation that we've been dealing with forever, since before we were born. You're gonna right now today. You didn't care about this 4 years ago. You didn't care about this 4 years ago.
That's what you think. That's what you think. You think that it just popped up. Hold on though. You got to understand one thing is this might be new to you because that's kind of how you're talking about it. But a lot of people, there's a good number of people that have been into the politics that just don't speak up about the Israel thing until now, until they see people. Hold on, until they see people that are more famous than them talking about it now. So people are starting to talk about it a little more. But it was something that was hush hush. The whole Israel and the Jews thing. Everyone can agree with that. It's not a new thing. It's just now that people would talk about it. Just like white people talking about black people, bro. Like they was putting that in the hush hush for the last 10 or so years. Now they don't give a fuck no more. Now they don't care anymore. It's the same thing.
This is in the same vein as racism. It's not new.
The Israel thing is they are a country.
Hold on, bro. I've listened to Farrakhan talk about Jewish people, Israel, all that way back in the late 90s, bro. This is not new. Khalid Muhammad talked about him. I'm not saying he's wrong. What I'm telling you is there's an immediate threat and then there's a long-term threat or a less than immediate threat. Israel ain't your immediate threat, black man. So to take actions that allow the immediate threat to fester while you worry about a threat one that you really ain't, nothing you do is going to stop this. I'm telling you right now. You know and I know nothing you say or do is going to stop these politicians from taking AIPAC money unless you out fundraise them. That's it. That's the answer to that. Spend more money than the Jews if you want to get the Jews out of your politics, right? That's
right,
one.
but they're gonna when they do that, you're gonna hop on here and you're gonna say it's racist and anti-Semitic to try to get the Israeli PAC influence off these politicians' backs.
Why would I say
because
that?
they have the power to get rid of your favorite politician if they wanted to.
Why would I say that? Why?
Because
Bro,
when it starts happening, you're like, oh, what's with all this
thing,
Jew hatred?
For one
because
thing,
you're conflating anti-Semitism with
I ain't said nothing about no anti-Semitism. I haven't said shit about anti-Semitism. What I'm telling you is,
then why are you positioning it as hatred?
Why are you saying that I'm defending anti-Semitism? Because I'm encouraging you to use common sense. This ain't anti-Semitism.
I'm not saying that.
Listen, you don't have to be anti-Semitic to be pro-black. You don't have to be pro-Semitic to be pro-black. If you want to know what I say, they're not even none of that shit in the Bible. They made that all up. I know the Bible ain't really real like that. So I know that ain't real. So I've been past that. I've been past that. Jews are just a bunch of white people who stick together, put their money together, and manipulate
Brandon, you're saying that black people shouldn't be worried about them and stuff when a lot of black people vote Democrat and they voted for black representatives in the office and they got kicked out by Israeli lobbying. So we can sit here and talk about, just focus on no, hold on. Okay, yeah, that's your opinion. That's fine. But you gotta understand, like this, right? But this is American politics, though. You see what I'm saying? So
that's totally
those
fine.
people
So why not use it to your benefit?
though, dude. Those people were elected to represent, and you got some lobby that can just throw money around, and they're connected to a foreign government to just kick out politicians, bro. Like that's people are seeing that now, and it's not about left or right. That just should not be happening.
So that's a matter of getting big money out of politics. That's something totally different. Because if you
and it has to be not about left or right, and you keep bringing everything to this right versus left thing.
No,
and the whole Israel thing is bipartisan. You have to look at the polling, bro. Like no one supports Israel anymore.
I don't care if they support them or not. What I'm
but you're ignoring the reality, though. Like they're a topic in the next election, whether you like it or not. They're going to be a topic. And it's not about hatred.
Yeah. And I understand that they're going to be a topic. But as far as black people are concerned, there are some of us who are qualified to lead, and there are some of us who don't have the capacity to lead because we're too emotionally charged. You have taken this to an emotional level. I'm sitting here calmly telling you the Jewish issue is not the biggest threat to the black community right now. You know it. You don't want to accept it, or you know it, but you don't want to admit it. Because it's not, but it's a topic in America right now, though, and we are a part of America. I'll let you talk, dude. You're trying to make it we can walk and chew bubblegum, bro. You just said it's not, right? So here, so let's do this.
Bro, you're defending Israel.
No, whatever. That doesn't scare me. I'm not your age. I'm not
in your age group.
I'm not in your age group, but I'm not doing that. But you can say that because that's just a way to try to devalue what I'm about to say, and that's fine. Won't work. You already know that. What I'm telling you is going to come. So what I'm telling you is this. 20 million illegal immigrants is sitting at your border, waiting for the doors to open to come in your community, take your jobs, take over your community, rape your women, and do all that, which is what they did.
Trump let them stay, bro. Trump let them stay.
Why can't you let me finish?
Because it's bullshit. Trump let him stay, bro.
If you thought your position was as strong as it is, you wouldn't have a problem.
It was a strong position before Trump let them stay, bro. Trump said, all you gotta do is get a job, nigga, and you can stay. And that's what they're doing. So Trump let him stay. We need an underclass. It is what it is.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So cool. So all these people came in. Now there's more of them waiting to come in. There's more. There's probably 40 million to come this time because they're like, if we get in, we can stay in. You're gonna commit political suicide. Throw yourself on your own sword willingly because you're like, let me focus on the Jew thing while the immediate threat is right here that we really got to deal with.
Okay, you're assuming people can't focus on multiple things.
I'd let you talk.
This week.
I'll let you talk. You a grown-ass man, dog. You know exactly what the Democrats do. They lie to niggas like you because they know you're emotional. They going to say one thing. You're going to vote for them. Soon as they get in, they're going to be taking that AIPAC money, bro. Jasmine Crockett was a big one who was like, I don't take money from AIPAC. The bitch takes money from a subsidiary of AIPAC. You're willfully stupid. You're a very intelligent man, but you want to believe that these people aren't who they are. I'm older than you. I've been around dealing with this shit longer than you. As black man, I'm telling you, bro, they're going to lie to you and tell you they don't take Jew money. And as we speak, the Jews are creating new donor groups to give them money without being attached to it. They're already doing that, bro. They're already doing that. So like I continue to try to tell you, you can use that. You can let that be your single issue voter bullshit, which is what our forefathers and ancestors did to get us in this position. Just one issue, and we're going to let that dictate our vote.
You can't sit here and say it's a single issue thing when just because it's a hot topic right now. Like no one's being single issue about it.
You just said it. You just look now. You contradicted yourself because earlier you said people been on this.
No, what I'm saying is they yeah, because people are seeing what's been going on for the longest. Like you said, has been going on for the longest. People are starting to see that basically. So it's not about what I think.
Bro, listen. People
I know, including me.
People been
but the normies are seeing it now.
Bro, people been seeing it since Andrew Jackson, the Rockefellers, and all them used to talk about the Jews and what they was trying to do. This ain't nothing new. But the same people who been seeing it, once the number went high enough, they was like, all right, cool. This is what I'm trying to tell you. There are a lot of Jewish people who live in America, bro. You're not stopping that problem. I'm telling you right now today.
Right, but Israel's desperation makes it obvious, and people see it, and they have an opinion about it, bro.
They'll do what they did in the 90s.
It doesn't mean that they've forgotten about all other issues.
They will do what they did in the 90s. They will elect someone who's more liberal and more moderate. They'll wait 10 years till Americans ain't tripping on them no more. Then they're going to do the same thing. The whole time, they still going to be in your politics, manipulating people with money. Let me ask you a question. If I was running for office, right, and you know how I feel about everything, and a Jew was like, yo, I'm about to get this nigga $1 billion. We about to guarantee that he going to get elected. And me, I'm in here like, hey, once I get elected, bro, it's up. We building up these communities. We building, we invested in Africa. We doing woo, 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 woo. Would you be like, I hate Jews so much, I'm not going to vote for you? And the opposite of me is little white
because
Betsy
not all
Sue,
Jews not all Jews support Israel either.
I know that, but
right. So you're not going to catch me in that gotcha.
but even with those Jewish people not supporting Israel, notice how Israel still has the same power that they had. The power's not going to go nowhere because everybody wants this money, bro. Democrats are literally led by a Jew, literally, who takes AIPAC money. His name is Chuck Schumer. He speaks at AIPAC every year. Do you see how ignorant that is? To even think about voting for a Democrat when they take AIPAC money every year. The head of their damn party is a Jew who takes AIPAC money, who is a Zionist. Chuck Schumer is a Zionist. And one thing we know about the Democrats, they vote down the line the same. They do not diverge when it comes to their votes in Congress. So please tell me how you're going to make a difference by voting against Republicans for Democrats when Democrats are literally run by AIPAC, bro. It doesn't make sense, Hakeem, when you really think about it. It's all just, got your nose. Is that your ear?
Because it's going to be gradual, bro. Like, you just got to wait and see. And they're already calling for Chuck's ousting anyway. So,
dude, they're not going to oust Chuck.
The pressure's on, bro. The pressure's been on the Democrats before the Republicans.
They're not going to oust Chuck because
I know what you're saying with that, bro. Like, they are powerful. I get that, dude. You're trying to get black people to stop thinking about it, though. You want to get black conservatives to not think about the Israel issue, bro. Like, that's all you're doing. Like,
hey, listen, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? That's what it's about. Bro, they're not going to get rid of Chuck because Chuck is one of the highest money generators. He is the highest. He actually generates the most money in the Democrat Party. That's how you become leader of the minority leader or the majority leader. You generate the most money. Why would you get rid of your golden goose? There's no one who's going to come in and generate more money than Chuck Schumer. Look at the neighborhoods in New York. The ones who voted Mamdanian, those were Jewish people. And guess
Right,
what?
but he's got to survive his election.
I'm telling he will 100%. He's not getting. Look, we can bet $100.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they'll. Maybe they won't kick him out.
Is he a Zionist? So you think a Zion? Yes, he is. So you think a Zionist who gonna be in the head gonna let you water down the influence of Zionists?
I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying that's the rumblings right now. People want to get him out. That's all I'm saying.
You're saying it's gradual. No, it's not, because as Chuck Schumer.
No, I think Chuck's is the failure on immigration and just overall trying to stop Trump.
Yeah, of course, because
him and
Chuck Schumer doesn't even care about immigration. Chuck Schumer is doubling down on the ICE situation to deflect people's attention off the Jewish money situation. And he's trying to make it hard for people. He's basically giving people ultimatum. Well, you accept Jewish influence and we stop ICE from deporting, or you reject Jewish influence and then ICE going to be able to go crazy. That's what he's doing. But what I'm trying to tell you is Trump gets money from AIPAC, I guess, and Chuck Schumer get it from AIPAC. So do you really think they're really that different in what they're trying to do? Oh, go ahead, Free Game. Yo, Free Game, you in here? No, what? Hey, guys, listen. My vision on this is so clear. J World, I didn't see your question. Guys, if you got questions, put it in the form of super chat, because I'm not gonna see it, because I'm not looking. I can't. You guys don't contribute to. A lot of people aren't contributing to the stream at all. But then I read the comments. Comments that you read up top are supposed to come with contributions, but I'm so cool. You guys take my kindness as a weakness, and you guys don't contribute. No one is gonna have this Jewish discussion. Nobody, because they're afraid of getting demonetized. I risk getting demonetized so we could talk about the things that really matter. If I risk getting demonetized by YouTube, you guys got to help the channel by supporting. That's a fair trade-off. So help out the channel. I didn't put a goal up because I was having technical difficulties. But, you know, $5 super chats, $1 super chats, whatever, hook us up. But I did not see your question. Is this it right here? Brandon, would you take $100 billion from blacks before you would from white Jewish people? Of course I would. What do you mean? That's stupid. If black folks was like, I got $1 billion for you to fund your election, and Jewish people was like, well, we got $1 billion. I'm gonna take the black $1 billion and then go to the Jews and be like, what do y'all want for y'all $1 billion? And if they saying some bullshit, I'm be like, nah. There's certain things that's what you do, because when you get elected, you're not just elected for blacks, you're elected for everybody. That's why you saw Joe Rogan, and I'm going to tell you how stupid a lot of us are. Joe Rogan, Free Game, do you know what happened with Joe Rogan?
Nah, I don't know.
That's because you was a nigga, that's why. Let me tell you. So Joe Rogan just got some medications legalized that were made illegal, right, to help deal with opioid addiction. He just was in the White House yesterday or the day before with his hand on Trump's shoulder while Trump was signing this legislation or this executive order decriminalizing these medicines, where you take it one or two times and it kills your desire for opioids, right? And if you sit and think about it, wasn't Joe Rogan just on the news talking big shit about Trump? Wasn't he just on his show bashing the shit out of Trump over the illegal immigration thing? But that's what black people don't understand. You can criticize somebody and they'll still be willing to work with you if you have something to offer them. You look, You can still criticize somebody and still work with them if you have something to offer. Black folks want to fight Jews, right? But
Yeah.
we're not fighting, not Jews. Let me say Israel. Black folks want to fight Israel, but we don't want to fight Israel and the Jews the best way we can. We want to go to a gunfight with a goddamn one of them stupid bibs that you tie around your neck when you eat crab boil, thinking that that's the same thing. No, it's not. You want to fight them, fundraise. You want to fight them financially. You can fight them financially because their money is already committed a bunch of places where your money is not committed. And that's what you do. You find out where your money can go the furthest, where they don't have much more money to throw to send, and that's where you take advantage. How do you think the Muslims are gaining a foothold in all these countries? How do you think they're moving in? Because they're fundraising. How do you think the Muslims got Tucker Carlson on their side, Candace Owens on their side, the Hodge twins is on their side? How do you think the Muslims now got all the conservative dudes speaking on their behalf against the Jews? Money, fool. It ain't got shit to do with Democrat, Republican. Money. Dinero, nigga. That's it. Fetty, whatever you want to call it. We don't want to do that because we are the most cheapest group of voters on earth. We don't understand. It's about money. That's it. That's it, and that's all. And the Jewish people, AIPAC gave Trump a gang of money to help him win that election, and now he got to answer to what they want him to do. That's their lobby. I'm not saying they're controlling the United States, but one thing Trump gonna do, he's gonna please his base. He's gonna appease his base because those are the people that keep him elected. And those are the people who are gonna go out and vote for the Republicans he wants to win in the midterms. Y'all asking people to turn against, y'all literally telling people, yeah, we're gonna vote Democrat to stop the Jew situation, the AIPAC situation. Oh, Democrats taking more money from AIPAC than anybody. The head of the Democrat Party damn take money from AIPAC. So you really think you're going to stop it? You're not going to stop it. Go ahead, free game. Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
I have to agree with you. Now, as much as I don't agree with Israel, they look, this is gonna, if you want them gone, like far as like not in our politics, dude, these people have been in our politics since the 1860s, like 1850s. Like while these super Republican guys, that these people was over the Confederate Army for a while. People don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look up Judah Benjamin in Louisiana. This dude was a Jew, but he was over the Confederate Army. Like this is a multi-year. This is at least 50 years of lobbying against
More than
them.
that.
Yeah, more than that because they plan ahead, right?
Yep.
So yeah, you just can't kick these people out the country.
We have presidents who hated Jews. We have presidents who literally hated Jews. They couldn't even get them out.
Yeah, you're not. That is just not going to happen. Like these people are very sophisticated and very intelligent.
And you don't, and the biggest thing that they have is you don't know that they're even Jewish unless they tell you.
Facts.
That's the biggest thing they got. You don't know what they are unless they tell you.
Facts.
And me, I'm gonna be real. I don't really have a problem with that because I just understand that's the way our politics have always gone. But to sit up and be like, we're gonna fight this guy just told me, if you're not going after Zionists, bro, you're wasting your time. You're a little dog chasing after a car. You're a little dog chasing after a car. If you catch it, what you gonna do with it?
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about Goldman Sachs and banking. Like these people play on white people's laziness.
Bro.
They played on their laziness way back in the day. They seen this way back in the day Like they played on people's laziness and they start taking the jobs. But also, too, the other guy don't see that these people have infiltrated the Mexican government as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
So, so
Shine Bomb is Jewish.
yeah, so you got people coming over here that's allies with the same people you allying against.
Man, I don't even know why. It's like black people, we're so like we're so ignorant to certain things. We think we could just go at any group. We're far too fragmented, guys. You can't just be biting off more than you can chew. You need to just
Yeah,
chill the fuck out, try to build up your community. And then once you got that collective, I mean, the Muslims are a very powerful lobby, right? And they know they can't even go head up with the Jewish people at this point, but they're working on it. They're working on it after decades. They're working on it. Understand, when was the Muslim Brotherhood established? What, 1926? 21, when was the Muslim Brotherhood established?
I don't know. I don't know.
1929? Hold on, let me look it up.
But whoever's on here advocating for Iran, do you not know that the Iranians like had slaves? Like, do you not know the Palestinians? They had to stop. Europe had to stop them from having slaves like in 1920.
Dude, yeah, they think these people think that if you're against Israel, you're good. I'm telling you, ain't none of them good like that.
Ain't none of them
Ain't
good.
none of
Ain't
them
if
good.
oh my God,
They're brainwashed.
if those Muslims that was in, do you not know they have a slave trade going right now?
They know that. They know that. But that is what cognitive dissonance is, trying to entertain two opposing ideas and thoughts at the same time. On one hand, the Muslims is good and Iran is good. On the other hand, they still running slave trades right up in Africa, and got black slaves right now. They just did a
And
big old
look, in in
they just did a
in
big old slave
indentured
thing in
servitude.
they just did a big old slave thing in Qatar where they just busted them down for how they was enslaving these black women from African countries going over there for work, and they end up in slavery. The Muslim Brotherhood was founded on March 1928 in Egypt. Do y'all realize that the Muslim in 2 years they'll be around for 100 years? The Muslim Brotherhood was founded to fight against Jews. They've been fighting 100 years, and this is how much progress they done made. So what you think you about to make in 10 minutes? You just gonna be looking
Facts.
like a fool. You gonna be looking like a fool who ain't got no type of wherewithal or stick to itiveness. We're angry
And
right now, so let's just go after rage and emotion. Ain't moving the needle on nothing long term. Shall I remind you? Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, defund the police. Niggas was mad back then. What did it accomplish? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. This is the same thing. No different. Y'all just mad at Jewish people now, or Israelis now. And in 2 years, you won't even be thinking about this shit.
yeah, and Brandon, look, if the like, I'd rather deal with the Jews than deal with them. Like they have over 1 billion people on the planet. The Jews only have like 30 million at the most.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, dude, these people are ruthless.
I think the
Like,
population of Israel is like 11 million. Such a small
yeah,
population. And Iran
yeah.
is 99 million.
And look, I can't, I don't, I, I know how they play. I know how to do this play. Like they have done things to the black community as well. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, dude, this is not a one election thing. This is a 100-year
De-
process.
Destroying your community by voting for Democrats who are going to let illegal immigrants flood your community and basically replace you politically, that's not the solution. That is not the
At
solution.
all.
Because
It
if they put, let me just say this, if they let 100 million immigrants come in here, illegals, and then they give them amnesty and let them vote, if the Jewish people get them, which they already in Mexico and making inroads in other parts, those people are going to support the same Israelis that you trying to fight against. So it's
Yeah.
literally a lose-lose for you. It's really, you're going to be fucking yourself. And look, we the unks. But unlike our unks, the unks is trying to warn y'all. But y'all doing what most ignorant young people do. You're allowing your anger to make you to make you deaf to the message we're trying to send to you. And we're telling you, this shit is chess, dog. It's 3D chess. It ain't just, oh, I'm mad at the AIPAC. So if Trump supports Israel, if I vote for the other side, they're gonna fix it by getting rid of Trump, and then they're gonna do something different. Nah, they're all gonna do the same thing. Until you show them who's gonna donate more money to them than AIPAC, they're gonna still get money from AIPAC, even if they gotta change the name of AIPAC.
Yeah, it like they do this stuff through trust, and you would never be able to go find, trace them back to, bro. These people are. Do you not know that they're some of the best lawyers in America? I mean, like, dude, it's no way you can stop it in this election. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
You're not even
And
gonna get. You're not even gonna be able to get all your people to turn against them because they got the rappers and everybody who influence your people.
yeah,
So,
and y'all vote for it,
bro,
and then they talking about vote for Democrat, bro. What are you talking about? They started off as Democrats. What are you talking about?
right. They got Yeezy apologizing and shit.
Jay
At least he
Z,
spoke the truth, though. At least he spoke the truth.
No,
Jay
100%.
Z, and
And
Beyonce will be up there in 2.5 seconds.
I defended Yeezy, and nobody went harder against these people than I did when I was defending Yeezy. And Kyrie shit was more stupid to me. But Yeezy has freedom of speech. He should be able to say whatever the fuck he want to say, right? That's America, right? But here's the thing. What our people do is when we don't like the facts, we just get angrier.
Right.
And that's not how you do anything. Go ahead, Luis.
Right. That is completely correct. And honestly, what I think what really turned people off was the MAGA hat for sure with Kanye. And I think that he was more like manipulated into doing that. As far as like wearing the MAGA hat and visiting
I got my
Trump
MAGA hat.
Right. But like, even if we want to make America great again, we don't do enough together. Even let's just say, not even to talk about race, but we see it right now with the white people that they so-called themselves MAGA. They're having a social war on the internet. They're not agreeing with each other. So it's looking bad, bro. To me, it's looking bad. It's looking bad because
let me tell you about white people though. White people can see black folks, and I give credit to my brother, Simp Police, and somebody else who was saying this, I forgot. But black folks and a lot of minority groups, we don't have conflict resolution skills. White people could be going crazy on each other. They fought a civil war against each other, and then they came back together. See what I'm saying? So they've proven through time that they can break and come back, right? White folks fought with Europe, and then they came back together. Overall, they rebound way better than a lot of us do. When we split, we stay split. We stay split forever. It'll be a blood feud. So I don't really worry about MAGA because I'm in like a lot of groups and stuff. I don't worry about MAGA because I know at the end of the day, MAGA people are like, I will never vote Democrat, right? So you gonna argue because you feel like, dang, this kind of like my only option. So I'm gonna talk shit, right? But what I'm looking at is we're still looking at this like it's tiddlywinks or Connect Four. This is way deeper than what we want to accept. That's why we think we're going to get Israel money out of the government by voting Democrat. That's what we think. Hakeem didn't want to say that, but that's what he think. Oh, it's complicated. It's complicated. No, it's not, because the facts are right there. Both sides take money from AIPAC. The leader of the Democrats is a Zionist. What's complicated about it? You ain't gonna get Israel money out of politics by not voting for the Republicans who take money from Israel and then going to vote for the Democrats who take money from Israel. As a matter of fact, I would say Republicans are the more likely to break with each other over Israel than Democrats, because Democrats go straight down the line every time. Am I wrong, Luis? When do the Democrats vote different from each other? They don't. Chuck Schumer gonna say, we voting to get our money to Zelensky, because y'all do know Vladimir Zelensky is a Jewish person.
Right, I saw that on the internet.
Biden, in fact, Biden, let me tell you, this is my last thing. I'm gonna tell y'all how cold the influence is. Y'all, all these people voted for Biden, right? There was fires in Hawaii. Burnt down a gang of acreage and stuff. The Hawaiians out there, people dying. They ain't got no food. They sleeping outside. Look. At the same, so the Hawaiians was like, we need $12 billion. We need to declare this a state of emergency, and we need $12 billion to help us start rebuilding our homes and stuff that was lost in the fires. Biden's so cold. He said, look, if y'all don't approve this 280 billion for Ukraine, I'm not gonna sign the legislation to give 12 billion to Hawaii. Biden literally held the 12 billion for the Hawaii fire relief. He held that hostage until Congress agreed, until the Republicans agreed that they would attach it to a $200 billion payment for Ukraine. People didn't even pay attention to that. People didn't even pick that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. That was a Democrat president who all these black folks voted for, holding our government hostage unless we were willing to give $200 billion. That was around the time people got sick of Ukraine and didn't want to give them no more money. Biden held our money. He kept those Hawaiians who are citizens, he kept them outside starving until the Republicans capitulated and gave $200 billion to Ukraine.
That's crazy. I say, to be honest with you, I don't like either party, bro. I'm not even registered to vote, to be honest with you. But what I do tell people is this, because I don't see this happening in California enough, is if you vote, you have the right to protest and ask for those politicians to resign. People out here be protesting the wrong, stupid shit. Then they get the information, whether it's the news media or somebody tells them or whatever the case, they make the news public of all the millions of dollars lost, of all the fraudulent shit going on, and they don't go out to the city hall, they don't go to the Capitol, they don't do shit, bro. That pisses me the fuck off. It shows me that people are uneducated, bro. They're just voting just to vote, and it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I live in California, too. I don't know if you know that. But, yeah, the people in California are mindless, bro. They not worried about what good or bad's going to happen. Their mind is Trump is the enemy. Republicans are the enemy. Do not vote blue no matter who. They literally, they are really about that. I want to show you guys this real quick, though. Look at this. Just to highlight what I was saying. Look at this. This is in the Honolulu Beat. FEMA money for Maui disaster relief may get caught up in a partisan fight over Ukraine. President Joe Biden signed the disaster declaration for Maui within 6 hours of Hawaii's request for federal assistance, according to Governor Josh Green. Much help will be needed. It's estimated Maui could exceed $6 billion. But FEMA, caught up in partisan politics in Washington, is already facing a funding shortfall. U.S. Rep, this is where they asked for the $11.5 billion, right? And the Biden administration asked for the supplemental spending on Wednesday. The same day, President also approved the disaster declaration of Maui, but the effort to get speedy appropriation was it's supposed to say floundered after Biden administration sought $12 billion in emergency funding that would extend disaster relief while simultaneously requesting some $24.1 billion in military spending for Ukraine in the same package. See, and it was actually more than that. It was more than that. Whoever's writing this is wrong because it was at least $50 billion. But see what I'm saying? Biden asked for this, for the Ukraine money in the same package as the Hawaii money. And Biden was like, if y'all don't give us that Ukraine money, we're not going to approve the Maui fire money. But do you see how cold-blooded?
I remember that.
Do you see how cold-blooded the Democrats are, though? Do you see how if you think that group is going to turn against Israel and not give them money? They're willing to hold you fucking hostage to give Israel, Jewish people and stuff money. So you think
they'll hold their kids hostage,
man? Listen, look, it's like voting for a dog to get. It's like voting for a wolf to get rid of a wolf. They both gonna turn on you and eat your ass, fool.
Yeah, they will. People just think it's just one thing they got to do.
No.
And also too, if the Muslim gain any power, bro, it will be over for Africa, bro. Like they will start invading Africa like it's no tomorrow.
Black Loki and Miss Berry, y'all stop fighting, man. They in there just they going.
No, but that's a fact that I didn't know about Joe Biden. What I did know or notice is that he didn't care. Like, right? He didn't. He was on. He felt like he was on a vacation, the beach, and whatever he was doing in Delaware, etc. or Florida.
Bro, that man had to focus just to breathe. I wouldn't be giving a shit either. I'd be like, shit. That man wakes up in the morning and go, whew, still alive. You know, type shit. He got bigger problems, bro. That nigga was cooked. I understand. But yeah,
man. Sometimes I think that I know it's not gonna happen unless like a big movement does happen. But sometimes I feel like the best thing we could do is vote independent, bro. Get all these people out of all.
But there's no independent. There's no independents that are running at the highest level. But what I'll say is the biggest thing the number one thing black folks could do, start building yourself up economically. We need to restore. We need to bring back the Buy Black movement, where we start building back up our economic base. Go buy some of this cheap land, cheap real estate, these cheap houses out here. I'm telling people the Midwest, you can still get a house over there for $150,000. Believe me, the people from the coastal cities, they're coming back to the middle of America because that's the only thing that's still affordable. Get in on the cutting edge. Start buying up that land. Start buying up them little cheap houses. You could sell your house in California and go get 2-3 houses in the Midwest. Do it now. America is expanding. It's not going to get no smaller. We just praying. The only thing conservatives do, we're stemming the tide because this country is going to grow whether you like it or not. You know, and like my lady said, she said, we only got a couple more years of Trump. Everybody got to start getting their shit in order. And that's all Trump is trying to do for y'all. He's trying to give you time to get your shit in order because shit going to go left. I'm telling you right now, it's going to go left because it has to if this country is going to survive. Because you need some crazy shit to happen for Americans to come back together because we are very divided right now. It will happen, right? We will come back together, I believe. But you're going to have something that really provokes us to force us to come back together. But you better fortify yourself now. Y'all up here worried about AIPAC money, bro. AIPAC money that's been in our politics for 100 years or more. They're getting rid of AIPAC.
No, bro. Literally. Goldman Sachs have literally been open for I'm talking about 100 years at least.
Bro. And always remember, when all else fails, what do? They just hire a bunch of black folks. And that shuts down the whole conversation. How do you think ICE got black people to not go out in the street and protest on behalf of illegal immigrants? They hired a bunch of us. So now we be like, hey, black man, black woman, go get your money. They know what to do to you. They know you love money. They stick that shit right in your fucking mouth to shut you up.
Just like they do them. Just like they find them.
100%. Go ahead, Luis.
I was going to say, we ain't got enough, bro. The problem with immigration is huge, and Biden definitely fucked our country up with that. And you're right. I see exactly what you're saying. It's like, why are we worrying about? That's like paying attention to somebody's pocket, right? The AIPAC money. Why are we worrying about AIPAC money right now when we should be worrying about AI and AI replacing the people and the jobs? We should be going after companies that are hiring these illegals to do CDL driving, to be doing the truck driving. That's our job. This is our country. We should be going after Waymo, who apparently has their drivers, whenever they got to troubleshoot their car, all the way out in the Philippines, and probably without a United States license, for that matter. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we should be fighting towards instead of paying attention to people's money. We should be bringing ourselves up and our community up before paying attention to the APEC. Go ahead.
But see, this is what the community does, man. Especially in the black community. We're like the March of Dimes. You know about the March of Dimes, right, Luis? You know about the March of Dimes free game. First, they started off as an organization that fought to cure polio. Once polio was cured, now they are fighting to cure cancer. They realized when polio was cured, damn, we have no reason to exist. So we need to find another cause to fight for and collect money for, but we need to figure out something that's way more it is way more complicated to cure than polio. So now the March of Dimes is focused on curing cancer. Cancer ain't gonna be really cured like that, you know, for probably another 100 years to where you get it, they're eliminated totally, right? So the March of Dimes will exist and collect your money for another 100 years. This is what the black community does and many communities do. We don't want to address the immediate issues, so we go and pretend like we looking at shit that's way far off. It's like somebody being like, it's like your wife come in the house and be like, hey, the car need to be fixed. In your mind, you like, damn, I know that's the transmission. Oh, honey, I'll get to that as soon as I finish fixing the little handle on the toilet. And you take 3-4 days to do that just so you don't have to worry about fixing the car. That's what we doing. We're literally just looking at a problem that we know is probably way too big for us to tackle right now, so we don't have to focus on all these little problems that we can actually tackle, but it's gonna make us uncomfortable. Let's go after Israel, because we just came off a loss with reparations, right? We just came off a whooping with that. We lost that. Now we don't want to lose again, so we're gonna say we're fighting Israel and giving money to Israel. So when it's all said and done, we won't look like we lost that. It'll just be like, we're still fighting against it indefinitely. You can't lose until you give up type shit. No, man. There's so many more things we should be focused on than that.
Yeah, man.
Because we can come up with anything. You understand? Like as if when we come together, we make anything fucking happen. You understand me? And to answer somebody's question about not worrying about the APAC money, the thing is, when you don't worry about that, even when you start, say for instance, working towards your goals and you know, your dreams or whatever it is, if you want to be a business owner, etc., you have the options. Once you have a specific amount of income, depending on what you're doing, especially if you're a freelancer, you can get out this freaking country. It's your choice. It's your choice.
Yeah.
You have the passive income. You have the income to live in Italy, to live in Spain, to live anywhere else if you wanted to. You understand? So, and then also, you know, every state is different. So you can pick the state that you want to live in. But there's so much going on right now, like you said, everywhere, that we shouldn't just be focusing on the APAC money. Like that's kind of like, okay, whatever. Like it's not gonna stop. The money's not gonna stop printing, is it, Brandon?
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm looking up this. How many political groups are connected to APAC? Because this is,
Bro, yeah,
damn.
it's like we got death by 1,000 cuts. Like we dealing with Israel, but then you got immigration, you got all these stupid abortions that's going on. You like the citizen, the birth rate. You have the AI. You have the jobs hiring. Saying that they don't want illegal immigrants to hire them. It's just like, come on, man.
Look. So I looked up groups that are associated with APAC. Political groups. You literally have APAC, United Democracy Project, American Israel Public Affairs Committee, Democrat Majority for Israel, Republican Jewish Coalition, Mainstream Democrats PAC, NORPAC, Pro Israel America PAC, Joint Action Committee, U.S. Israel PAC, regional PACs, Maryland Association for Concerned Citizens, Grand Canyon State Caucus, California Jewish Democrats, American Israel Education Foundation. Bro, and that's just the ones that got Jewish in the title. So imagine the probably hundreds that don't got that. Y'all, bro, I'm not saying nothing about y'all. I'm not gonna say y'all wrong, none of that, because it's not up to me to say that. But what I'm gonna tell you, you got at this point, you got to learn to crawl before you can walk, bro. And black folks trying to jump up against a juggernaut. And trust me, little Lizzie Sue, liberal Karen, they'll be mad at this for a minute, and then they gonna move the goalposts. That's what they always do, because even they get Jewish money. Even the liberal causes get Jewish money.
Yep.
So, because it's not real unless I hear these Democrats like Chuck Schumer got to go now. It's not real as long as Chuck Schumer and all these dudes is winning elections. It's not real unless the Democrats are screaming about how, all of Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, all her political opponents mysteriously got assassinated. So she walked into the presidency. It's not real for me.
There's a rumor she's Jewish too.
No, she is Jewish. There's not a rumor. She's
for
a fact Jewish.
I saw that. I saw on the internet somebody
Sheinbaum. Name one Mexican last name Sheinbaum.
Yeah.
They've been everywhere. Jewish are everywhere. There's synagogues everywhere. Even in Puerto Rico, there's a big Jewish community too.
I mean, that Christopher Columbus went to South America first, bro.
And me personally, I have no issue with Jewish people. I even said most Jewish people I met are pretty cool with me. I have no issue with it. I'm just telling black folks, politically speaking, trying to talk about Israel. Anybody making a decision off of getting Israel out of politics is just a fool, because it ain't happening no time soon.
Have you seen the Jewish in New York that are protesting against the Zionists from Israel?
No, there's some here too.
There's Jewish people that don't like Jewish people. So,
dude, there's a guy who owns this bookstore right by my house. He's Jewish and he can't stand Zionists. There's a big mainstream Jewish guy who's anti-Zionist. Man, he just was talking about like, bro, they're so powerful, bro. He's like, even they call me a anti-Semite, and I'm Jewish. It's hard to deal with it because Jewish people remind me of like Pokemon, how Pokemon evolve. Jewish people to me are like the evolved version of black people. They're like, black folks complain and play the victim, but don't do shit about it and don't build shit. Jewish people are like, we complain, they play the victim, but then they do something about it. They build based on that. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it hard to really go at them. Cause they're just like, yeah, how many hospitals you got, nigga? None. How many this and that do you got? None. If you get shot and you can't get in an emergency room, you got to go over to Cedars-Sinai. That's our shit. We could bring you over there. Like, I tell people, it's big. I realized how big that shit was when I got my knee scoped, but my quad looked at, like x-rayed and MRI at Cedars-Sinai. And when I went to go, like, how much is it gonna cost? They were like, oh, it's no nothing, free. We got this program for people who are like in athletics and whatever, where they can come in. And I got with Robert Clapper, ex-orthopedist for the Lakers. I mean, this guy was working on Kobe. You know what I'm saying? And I got to see that dude for free because of Cedars-Sinai. So they're in deep. I feel like they benefit so many people. It's gonna be hard to make a case for like, nah, we don't need to let them have no influence, because they do a lot of good things with their money. And I mean, I'm sure they do bad things too, but it's hard to unentrench something like that. But hey, you're welcome to try. Guys, any last thoughts on this? Because I'm moving on to the next topic. We are We got on a big tangent. Go ahead, Free Game. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I have to agree. It's going to take generations to get rid of this issue, but also too, white Americans and black Americans alike. Like it's like we not doing nothing about it. These people are getting educated, and they're getting in positions of authority, and we not. We just sitting up there talking, which is
Complaining.
not going to do anything.
Facts. You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
And the Muslims are dude. They had the most brutal slave trade in history. Why do we trust them? Why are we even hurraying for them at this point?
Man, listen, I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. But we go ahead, Luis.
I mean, I don't. I think I already spoke and said enough. I just hope that we as American people, especially like you said before, like I don't know like how to explain it, but it's like we definitely gotta work together, man, because the problem is like you said, sometimes whether it's a Latino, black, people that are not white, right? They kind of do separate themselves or try to separate themselves from their own people, especially when they have a change financially, right?
Yeah.
When they that's a major, that's a big I feel like a flaw for our community, for our people. It's something I never like to see, man, and it's unfortunate that it happens. I understand sometimes why it happens, but it's like I don't know, man. It's like you gotta know who can be your right hand man. You understand at some point, so you can continue having your legacy and your people do better. You know.
No, for real. For real. 100%. Hey, thank y'all boys for coming up. I appreciate that. Um, Anytime. You guys are welcome to come up anytime. Let's move on to the next topic. What's up with Trump? Trump with the he's winning. We so worried about being doomers. We're so worried about being black pill conspiracies. Oh, the Epstein files. You know, sometimes we get totally consumed by that. We don't even look at the reality of the world that we're living in because we're so hyper focused on negativity. Well, I have a positive thing that is going on, and that is the plummeting, basically the collapse of drug overdoses. Under the Trump administration, with his new hardline policies on the import of dangerous drugs like cocaine, fentanyl, and more, we are seeing a significant decrease in drug overdose deaths. And this was highlighted 3 months ago by none other than Joe Rogan. Check this out.
Aren't they kind of blowing the Ecuadorian ships up that are coming to here that are having a lot of drugs on them?
Yeah, Venezuela, right?
Venezuelan ships.
Yeah.
They just blowing them up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I'm not educated on stuff like that, but I wonder if it's to keep the trade here.
No, I doubt it. I think more likely what it is because Trump genuinely hates that they're bringing drugs into this country. Is there other things involved too? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some of it has to do perhaps with politics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's a reasonable assumption. But Jamie, I just sent you something. Here's what's interesting. One of the things that Trump was saying is they're poisoning our kids, and that 100,000 people are dying every year from drug overdoses. We have to put a stop to this. From the time Trump's been in office, deaths by overdose have dropped off a cliff. Look at that. Look at 2024. And
wow.
leading into 2025.
Just
Look
going
at
down.
These are all deaths from overdoses. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, look at that. From all drugs, which is the top one, look at that drop. I mean, that's crazy. So you see the peak in was in 2022, or it looks like actually 2020, between
It looks like
2023
mid.
and 2024. That's the peak where people are dying. And then from the time Trump's in office, it's taking a fucking sharp downturn. And why is that? Well, part of it is because they're blowing up these fucking boats that are bringing in all the drugs. And not just drugs, but drugs that are tainted with fentanyl.
Fentanyl is terrible.
Terrible.
Because a little piece can kill you.
Exactly. It's smaller than a penny and you're dead.
And people are snorting lines of it.
And they don't even know what's in there. And the cartel, they're buying, they're taking shitty drugs and mixing it with fentanyl so it has an effect.
It's crazy.
And people are getting it from what they think is a Xanax, and it's not a Xanax. It's fake, and it's got fentanyl in it, and they're dying from that. They're dying from coke, that they think it's coke, and fentanyl's in that. It's horrible.
Guys, I promise, after today, we are done with the glitching and the blurriness. I'm going to OBS, but I got to figure out how exactly to set it up. But bear with me. So Joe Rogan spoke out against, he highlighted the collapse of overdose deaths and said it was crazy because he feels Trump genuinely cares about ending this situation with the drug problem in the United States of America, right? So you'll believe Joe Rogan when he criticizes Trump on Iran. Joe Rogan's trustworthy. When Joe Rogan says something good about Trump, oh, Joe Rogan's not trustworthy. He's a liar. He's this, that. That makes you a doomer. That's someone who is always going to fall back to the most negative aspect of everything. But Joe Rogan not only agreed with Trump, he did more than just talk about it like many of us do. Joe Rogan actually took the time.
Now aren't they kind of blowing?
Go to the White House and meet with Trump and ask Trump to decriminalize a lot of these previously criminalized drugs that deal with that help to get people that help deal with fentanyl addiction. And I'm trying to find this clip where Joe Rogan went to the White House. I had it, but I lost it. Okay. Here we go right here. 2 days ago. What the hell is going on? So, guys, you guys will most likely get another live stream today because I'm going to figure out I'm going to set up the OBS and everything today with the help of one of my friends. And so you guys get a double live stream, which will be like a test for my OBS stuff.
Joe Rogan joined President Trump at the Oval Office over the weekend as he signed an order allowing psychedelic drug research. Trump, that is. The executive order would accelerate research for certain psychedelic drugs used to treat mental health disorders. Let's listen.
Today's order will ensure that people suffering from debilitating symptoms might finally have a chance to reclaim their lives and lead a happier life.
The order, signed on Saturday, also directs the FDA to expedite its review of new treatments. This is specifically targeted at helping veterans struggling with symptoms of anxiety and depression. Now, Rogan, who has been critical of Trump's recent Iran operation, said at the White House that he heard about these treatments during a taping of his podcast and sent Trump some information.
Rogan added that Trump responded to his text message saying, "Let's do it." Trump also took a dig at Kamala Harris while mentioning his election interview with Rogan. Let's take a listen.
Joe Rogan, who's a fantastic person. We did a little interview before the election. We had over 300 million people. And I said, oh, man, I hope Kamala doesn't do it. And she didn't. He wanted her to do it, but she didn't. Someday Joe's going to explain why.
There's so much to unpack here. I said it before the show started, and I know you tried to simple it down, but I don't understand this friendship. And then we're going to talk about Mamdani. Joe Rogan's not a politician, though. He literally criticizes every single thing Trump has done since he supported him for the most part. I mean, the big policies that he's laying his hat on. But then he's up there like, oh yeah, let's do the psychedelic treatment, which is fine.
Because Joe Rogan disagrees with various people on various things, but is just a
Average
friendly, normal guy who people like hanging out with. And so people sometimes disagree. I mean, he does that with his guests. He'll be agreeing with them and they'll say, actually, I don't, then he'll go take the conversation a different direction. He's just his own man. He's not a political creature primarily. He's an interesting guy with a huge show, and Trump values that about him. And apparently values that he brought the psychedelic research to his attention, which I think is a great thing. I fully support this. I think research into psychedelics and how they could treat mental health disorders or trauma or PTSD is great. Obviously, in this country, we are concerned about the opioid epidemic,
right?
Over-reliance on painkillers, addiction to painkillers. Thing. I fully support this. I think research into psychedelics and how they could treat mental health disorders or trauma or PTSD is great. Obviously, in this country, we are concerned about the opioid epidemic,
right?
Over-reliance on painkillers, addiction to painkillers that then themselves cause problems. This is an issue but also withholding painkillers from people who have chronic, severe, and debilitating pain is also a form of torture. So it's, under-prescribing and over-prescribing are both problems, and it's really hard to balance it. It's hard to get that right. Bottom line is we need to look for other potential solutions to chronic pain, to mental illness, to all these things, and so this is a potential avenue, and more research should be done, certainly. And I'm for drug decriminalization and legalization and exploration of these subjects. So I'm really glad this is a win for the administration. I give them the thumbs up for this one.
I appreciated that this really targets PTSD, targets veterans, and anybody who's having some of the symptoms that these psychedelic drugs might be helpful to. Mm-hmm. So I understand Joe Rogan, having watched this.
Okay, so we understand that it's possible to not be a super political person, but still work with the government, right? That's what Joe Rogan is doing. This is what I encourage African Americans to do. You might not agree with Trump. You might not like the things he does. You might have beef with bro. That's all good. No one's telling you, hey, you got to support Trump and become a Trump acolyte and agree with everything that he says. No one's saying that at all. But I'm asking my people, especially in the African American community, what do you gain by not working with the president? The Democrats ain't like passing out no awards or trophies for refusing to work with the president. So what are you gaining for it? You're just hating and mad at the president for 4 years every freaking time it's not a Democrat. Every time. Black people did not complain about Biden at all for the past 4 years. They saw this dude falling downstairs. They saw all this nonsense bro was doing. They didn't care. They were literally just like, it's cool because it's Biden and he's a Democrat. As soon as a Republican get on, we criticize everything. I used to think, oh, maybe black people are just politically ignorant. No, because black folks have a firm grasp on everything political when it comes to criticizing Donald Trump. We get intricate and nuanced if it's about criticizing Trump. And it's like, we got to change that. We cannot continue allowing it to be this way, where it's like, oh yeah, we just gonna be, look it, we have a half-life when it comes to politics, because we only seek to make progress under Democrats. We don't make no progress, right? We don't make no progress because we don't even, like, Biden promised us a bunch of shit, didn't deliver on none of it. Black folks just accepted it. Oh, well, I guess we're not going to get it. Then when Trump came, we ain't working with him. We don't like him. Woo, woo, woo. So while every other group made advancement under Biden and they made advancement under Trump, black folks made zero advancement because the Democrats know that they can lie to us and tell us they're going to do something and then not deliver. And with the Republicans, we don't even try to work with them. We have a double negative when it comes to politics in this country. If you're black, you have to accept, hey, if it's a Democrat get elected, we just have to accept that we're not going to get shit. Why is that? That doesn't have to be the case. That does not have to be the case. But yet and still, here we are accepting it. Because we've been convinced that we only can expect things under Democrats. 100% Miss Berry. Cutting off our nose to spite our face, dude. It doesn't make any sense. What tankers? Jazzy. She's fact checking. AI overview recent data confirms a significant decline in drug overdose deaths in the United States. But whether the Trump administration is responsible is a subject of debate among experts. Listen, this is what we know. When Trump started blowing up drug dealerships in the Caribbean, the overdoses reduced. We know under Biden, they increased by 40%. Go fact check that. Under Biden, fentanyl overdoses increased by 40%. And guess what? Here's something about problems. Usually if you actually do something about the issue, it has a positive impact on the problem. The Democrats did nothing about the issue. Biden's solution was let's just not talk about it. That was Biden's solution. Biden's solution was we just not going to talk about it. We going to let it happen and we not going to talk about it. Because his own son was a damn dope fiend. That's an uncomfortable conversation. Talking about drug overdoses when your own son is a dope fiend who slept with his dead brother's wife and got her addicted to crack cocaine. And that's facts, Jack. That's facts. So, yeah, Joe Rogan is proof you can disagree with the president and still get things done. They were fishing boats. Are you dense? Are you dense? Jazzy, you are a Democrat shill. They were fishing boats. Don't be ignorant. What person go fishing in a speedboat? What person goes fishing in a speedboat? Go check your AI. Hold on. Let me tell you something. And this is why people like Jazzy are problematic. If the United States military tells you, hey, stop the boat, turn back right now, or we will fire on you. You think a fisherman gonna be like, F that? I'm getting through. I'm getting through. Right? You think they're gonna fight the government? They are civilian crafts, yes. Like they're boats that regular civilians can buy, but they're not fishing boats. Jazzy, you can come up here and prove it. If you could come up here and prove that these dudes was just fishing, you're more than welcome to. That's just ignorance. They were fishing boats. No, they were civilian crafts, but they're speedboats. They're not fishing boats. They're not fishing boats. They've been told, hey man, do not come through here trying to speed through, trying to get through to the United States. They do it. They try to do it at night. I don't know what person goes high-speed boating at night, and then they get annihilated. In my best impression of Trump, they get annihilated, and that's it. We don't got no more. We don't got nothing else to say about them. They're speedboats. No, they didn't. They're still blasting them. Come on, guys. You guys think the United States just does something and say, oh, we ain't doing that no more. The United States, as of today, 2020, April 2026, these operations are still ongoing. They are still conducting lethal strikes on vessels in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. In fact, a strike just occurred yesterday. Yes, they're still going. Ajanic. These are not, this ain't no, you guys just don't understand. And a lot of it is because you don't want to understand. That's the biggest issue. You don't want to understand. It's not that you can't understand. You don't want to. Right? My dad's, and Jazzy is like, because my dad served 25 years, what Donald Trump is doing is illegal. It's not illegal. It's well within his right as president. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. What he's doing is well within his right as president. Do you understand that there was a war declared on drugs? Do you understand that those drugs kill hundreds of thousands of Americans a year? We know you don't care. You pretend to care about your dad. You pretend to care about whatever you pretend to care about. But you don't care. Because if I knew that something was killing hundreds of thousands of Americans, I would say do what you got to do to stop it. Hey, Earth to Jazzy, those South American cartel dealers, they don't give a fuck about you. So why are you pretending to care about them? You don't care, Jazzy. You're not going to lose any sleep, and you ain't going to miss a day of work for them. So stop. It's so hard to argue against false, fake altruism, fake sympathy and empathy. It's so fake. Do you think this girl really cares about drug dealers getting blown up in the Caribbean? She just hates Trump. So here's the equation. I hate Trump, so I got to waste my time pretending to care about things that I don't even care about. Brandon, do you care how those drugs got here in the first place? Jane, I don't know how to say your name. That's the point. That's what Trump is doing. He's blowing the boats up so the drugs can't get here. We know how they got here. We all know that the government brought all that stuff here back in the day. But what we're focused on is that Trump is doing something about it. That's all you can really focus on. You can't worry too much about the past because you can't do nothing to fix the past. You can only deal with the problem in the present. Yeah, you do. You hate Trump. You hate Trump. You hate Trump. You can't even acknowledge that the man did a good job. Jazzy, can you acknowledge at least that Trump did a good job? Let's start there. Can you acknowledge that it's a good thing that Trump is making the drug overdoses go down by stopping drug dealers? Can you acknowledge that stopping drug dealers from bringing drugs into the country is a good thing? Oh, Joshua, 100%. 90% of our drugs, including the fentanyl, comes from Mexico. But guess what? Trump stopped that too. Y'all forgot Trump went and fucked up the cartels for a second. Y'all forgot that, huh? Y'all forgot that Trump shut the border down. So it's real hard for the coyotes and stuff and the dealers to get in. You guys forgot that, huh? A lot of that shit is carried over the border by American citizens. But because Trump has strengthened the border so much, it's increasingly difficult for these people to get the drugs over here. I love it. Here we go. You have got to be kidding me. Drug boats in the Caribbean tend to deal drugs to other, They tend to. And you're right. They deal drugs to other Caribbeans who then deal drugs to other Caribbeans who then deal drugs to the cartels who then deal drugs to the American citizens. We know how it works. Meanwhile, Miss Berry comes with the remind us how Biden gave out pipes and needles. This is the kind of world that Jazzy didn't want. They like politicians who perpetuate the problem instead of fixing it. They enjoy that. Because you know why? Because when you got somebody like Biden in office hurting people, the news don't talk about it, so they ain't got to worry about it. I am a well-read conservative. You're the one sitting. Everything you said was purely subjective. Everything you said was purely subjective. Everything you said was to cast doubt on Trump's effectiveness, on Trump's efficacy. But you can't, because we can all put two and two together. You can't even agree that Trump did a good job. Name one thing you like about Trump. This is how you know when someone's truly Trump deranged. Jazzy, name one thing you like about Trump. She won't do it. We're going to cover the Chicago mayor later on tonight because this is getting long. We're going to cover that tonight. The majority, you're from here. Okay, yeah. She can't even name one good thing about. When you can't name one good thing about a person, you know your criticism of them is not coming from a genuine place. Because I loved what Biden did with the CHIPS Act. And I think Trump was wrong to weaken the CHIPS Act the way he did. I love the idea of giving government incentives for companies to bring their chip manufacturing and production to America. Trump pretty much gutted that act, and I think Trump was wrong to do that. I could say I like that about Biden, and I can criticize Trump in defense of Biden. So don't think I'm biased. I don't care. I mean, I care, but I'm not going to say somebody did something bad when it was good. And I'm not going to attack somebody just because I don't agree with them on politics. No, I'm going to go based on what I think is good for the country and what I don't think is good for the country. You see Jazzy, she still ain't told you what a single good thing Trump did. She still haven't told you because she can't. She can't. You can't criticize me. You can't criticize me unless you come up here and do it to my face. See? Because anybody could type some shit. Oh yeah, we did take that boat. Anyone who criticizes you, anyone could be in the comments hiding and trying to throw shots. But unless you could come up here and articulate your criticism, to me, it doesn't even count. I'm not listening to what? What do you mean? The issue is you are a black American talking bad about black Americans, and you won't tell the history of how those drugs. I literally said the government brought the drugs in. I literally said that. So who's not listening? You're not listening. I literally said that maybe 5 or 6 minutes ago, and you didn't hear it, so you talking about I'm not listening. I know how the drugs got here. We all know how the drugs got here. The link is in the comments. We all know how the drugs got here. What is constantly talking about how the drugs got here going to do? Ronald Reagan is dead. Yeah, Reagan brought them in. Okay, they here now. Yeah, but you don't understand. Ronald Reagan brought him in. Hey, somebody mama just died down the street from an overdose on fentanyl. Ronald Reagan brought it in. Yeah, the little kids are smoking crack in the park up under the slide. Yeah, but Ronald Reagan brought it in. Ronald Reagan been dead for damn near 20 fucking years. How long you gonna keep up? What is talking about how I got here gonna do for you? I gave you the link. Is you coming up or not? Why did they do it? They did it to disenfranchise and undermine the black community. They did. But I ain't never did a drug in my life. I don't think my wife ever smoked crack cocaine either. There are probably millions who did it, and there's millions upon millions who never touched it. Mission failed. But I'll tell you one thing it did. It gave black people an excuse not to do shit. That is where the genius lies. Not that they brought it in to hurt us. The fact that it gave us an excuse. That's where the damage was done. That's where the damage was done. I'm waiting on her to click that link. Come click that link and tell me. It's excuses. And black people love having a good fucking excuse. Well, once we get an excuse, you can't tell us shit. Once we get an excuse, you can't tell us nothing. We gonna ride that hoe till the wheels fall off. You're talking about black people. Right. Who would you like me to talk about? How is me talking about white people gonna help black people fix our problems? Jane, come up. Tell me. Come tell me. That's the question I have for you. How is hyper focusing on white folks going to help black folks fix the problems we're dealing with? How is me talking about the neighbor's kitchen? How is me talking about the neighbor's dinner going to help dinner get made in my house? It's not. You just don't want to deal with your problems. So you rather focus on somebody else's. Born Golly, shout out to you for the $1.99 super chat. Keep talking that truth. Salute, bro. Salute to you too. Salute to you too. 100% mean looks. Just because they're here doesn't mean black folks have to use it or sell it. 100%. 100%. The Italians came in. They was selling it, but they forbade their people to use it. They said, let the niggas use it. You just sell it. And if they got caught using it, they'll be in big trouble. How is talking down to black people? How is talking down to people will never be a flex? You got to rewrite that. But are you saying how's talking down to black people a flex? I'm not flex. That's the whole thing. I'm not a flex. I'm not flexing on you. I'm not flexing on you at all. I'm simply telling you the facts about your situation. And once you have the facts, then you can do something about it. Because if you don't have the facts, you're going to be walking around operating in ignorance. That's the issue. And if you're operating in, shout out to Mean Looks for the contribution in Cash App. Appreciate you, bro. If you don't have facts, you can't fix nothing. You walk around in ignorance trying to address a problem without really knowing how to approach it. So that's what I do. You don't got nobody telling. Okay, Adrian, come up. I'll give you, because I was going to get off. I'll give you 5 minutes. Come up, let's have this conversation. Come up and have this conversation. Tell me what your alternative is. Tell me what your alternative is. Now you're mad. You 5 minutes ago said, I agree with him. Now you're mad. Well, you actually said drop the link. You said drop the link. I dropped it. I listened to you. First you said I wasn't listening. Then when I proved that I was listening to you, right? Then you got mad. Then you said, you're a non-factor. You're this, that, and the third. Come on, guys. It ain't got nothing to do. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It's me pointing out serious problems with us. And instead of dealing with it or setting the foundation so you could deal with it, you rather just be mad about it. You want to kill the messenger like that's going to change the fucking truth. It's not going to kill it. It's not going to change anything. You need to grow up. We ain't kids no more. And the biggest problem I have with this situation is this AJ? That's a woman, I think. Or hopefully you're a woman. The problem is I have two black women who are supposed to raise and protect our children, but y'all ain't nothing but excuse makers. Y'all gonna sit up and teach our kids how to be excuse makers. If you watched the show last night, I had my daughter up here. She was talking. She knows how to speak and carry herself. But the best thing about her, she's a logical thinker. She don't sit up and wait on people making excuses. My daughter just won a tournament yesterday. for her last tournament of the season for her volleyball club. She woke up this morning and said, hey, Dad, after school, can you take me to the gym? She's ready to do the work. You are ready to not do the work. You're ready to identify the problem, but you're not ready to do the work to fix the problem. That's the difference. We love wasting time. And when someone say, let's do something that's actually going to help the situation, we get mad. We get angry. And that's cool. I've been around black folks my whole life. I know what we do. We love killing the messenger. That's what we do. And guess what we do? We'll kill the messenger and then blame it on a white man. Oh, the white man killed Malcolm. Shit, it was black people pulling them triggers. You should be happy that a man is standing up like a man and speaking the truth. You need to stop generalizing. I ain't generalizing shit. Are you a dope fiend? I said a lot of us smoked it. I said, but a whole lot of us didn't. You're just saying this is a defense mechanism, what you're doing. Because I literally said millions use dope, but many more millions never touched it. I said that out of my own mouth. But y'all don't care about that. You don't care about fairness and me actually speaking it, being even level-headed about it. You're mad, your feelings are hurt, so now you just, but where do you go? I want to show you, I want to help both of you guys. And I hope the audience can bear with me. And I said this on another live stream, and I usually don't like getting too deep. But shit, we've been here so long, might as well. I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story. Let me tell y'all a story real quick. And I pray that these beautiful ladies can grasp the meaning of what I'm about to say. I hope y'all can grasp the meaning of what I'm about to say. Because this is how I learned. When I was brought up, this is exactly how I learned. And there's a way you get to this point, right? And you don't get there by getting angry, right? And we're going to do the long form, right? So this story comes from the Bible. And I know a lot of us think we're better than the Bible and we too smart and we don't need it, blah, 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 all that stuff, right? But you do need it because a lot of us struggle with comprehension. So laying things out from a biblical perspective, it helps us understand, right? It helps us understand. You don't know any black men who are helping the community because if you did, you wouldn't be as angry as you are about what I'm saying. So Jesus is talking to these people. He's giving like a speech, right? A sermon, right? And just think of me as Jesus right now. Think of me as Jesus right now. He's giving them a speech. He's giving them a sermon. I'm giving you a sermon pretty much. We talking, right? Pay attention, Jane and Jazzy. Pay attention. So I'm giving y'all a talk right now, right? So Jesus says, I am the bread of life. Your forefathers ate the manna in the wilderness, and yet they died. This is the bread that comes down from heaven, so that anyone may eat of it, and not die. I am the living bread that came down from heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he will live forever. And for a fact, the bread that will give is, and for a fact, the bread that I will give is my flesh in behalf of the life of the world. Then the Jews began to argue with one another, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? So Jesus said to them, most truly I say to you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in yourself. Whoever feeds on my flesh and drinks my blood has everlasting life, and I will resurrect him on the last day. For my flesh is true food, and my blood is true drink. Whoever feeds on my flesh and drinks my blood remains in union with me, and I in union with him. Just as the living Father sent me, and I live because of the Father, so also the ones who feed on me will live because of me. This is the bread that came down from heaven. It is not as when your forefathers ate and yet died. Whoever feeds on this bread will live forever. When they heard this, many of his disciples said, "This speech is shocking. Who can listen to it?" That is Jazzy and A. Jane right now. This is so shocking. How can you listen to this black man talk about how black people should have been more responsible and not use the drugs that the white man brought in? How can you sit and listen to this black man say that the government or the president is actually doing something that helps and is reducing the overdoses in America? You know, how can you listen? They're angered by that. They're like these people because they don't understand. See, those people didn't understand that Jesus was using like an illustration, right? He didn't mean physical flesh. He didn't mean physical blood. He was using it to put it in a way that they could understand. He was putting it in a way to where they could comprehend what he was saying, right? He was relating it to something they did every day, which is eating food. That was to help them. But see, because their heart wasn't in the right place, they couldn't receive the help. They chose to get caught up on the method by which the message was being delivered instead of trying to grasp the message in total, right? And I promise you it was hypocrisy, because if you told anybody on earth, hey, we're going to cut a big fat chunk of human flesh off of somebody's back, and if you eat it, you'll live forever, I bet they'll do it. Shit, got to do what I got to do. Bottoms up. You see white folks now, they're trying to extract the melanin for its rejuvenative properties. Y'all saying people eating kids and everything else in the Epstein files. So we know that human beings will do something like that if they think it's going to give them an advantage. But these people were so caught up on the message. They purposely misunderstood the message because their heart wasn't in the right place. And that's what AJ and Jazzy were doing, right? That's what they're doing still. So it says here, but Jesus, knowing in himself that his disciples were murmuring about this, said to them, "Does this stumble you? What therefore if you should see the Son of Man ascending to where he was before? It is the Spirit that is life-giving. The flesh is of no use at all. The sayings that I have spoken to you are spirit and are life." So he explained it to him. This is spiritual stuff I'm talking about. It's not physical. That's why he said the flesh is of no use at all. These sayings I have spoken to you are spirit, right? They don't mean literal. He explained it to him. He said, but there are some of you who do not believe. See, some of us don't believe the black community's problems can be fixed. So when someone starts talking about accountability, which is the first step to solving your problem, they will reject that person or attack that person the way A. Jane and Jazzy are attacking me. The reality is they don't really believe our problem can be fixed. So when you start talking in a way that alludes to a solution, they start getting angry, right? So he said, but there are some of you who do not believe. For Jesus knew from the beginning those who did not believe and the one who would betray him. From the sentiments of people like A. Jane and Jazzy, from their ranks, that is where the betrayers always come. That's where they always find the Judas. The ones who don't believe the problem can be fixed, the ones who speak out aggressively and antagonistically against anybody trying to take accountability so that they can then manufacture a solution, those are the ones, that is the ranks from where the Judas always comes. They find the so-called non-believer, and it's easy to flip them. It's easy to turn them, right? He went on to say, "This is why I have said to you, no one can come to me unless it is granted him by the Father." It said, because of this, many of his disciples went off to the things behind and would no longer walk with him. And maybe after today, they'll never watch my channel again. I'm surprised they're still here. And that's okay. Because that's how it is when you spew the truth. When you speak the truth. Guys, if you are one of the people who were here in the beginning, I used to have 200-300 people watching every live stream. I promise you. And I watched it systematically, and part of it was me too. But I watched it systematically. People fell off. They found some reason to disagree with me. They fell off. And now I go to another channel. I see them watching channels that's talking about pure nonsense. The reality is, the truth is not entertaining enough to keep most niggas locked in. It's just not. It's not. Truly talking about the things that will fix the community is not enough to keep most people locked in. I'm being real. Because most people are on this platform for entertainment, not to be challenged. And that's okay. I understand that. But YouTube was created to be an educational platform. So because of this, many of his disciples went off to the things behind and would no longer walk with him. So Jesus said to the 12, "You do not want to go also, do you?" Simon, the one known as Peter, answered him. He said, "Lord, whom shall we go away to? You have sayings of everlasting life. We have believed and have come to know that you are the Holy One of God." Jesus answered them and said, "I chose you 12, did I not? Yet one of you is a slanderer." He was in fact speaking of Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, for this one was going to betray him, although he was one of the 12. And you guys will go. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Go back to Roland Martin. See where that's going to take you. Go back to Jason Black. See where that's going to take you. Go back to Tariq. See where that's going to get you. Go back to any of these people. Go. I mean, it is what it is. But where is it going to get you? It's going to only take you further from the solutions that you claim you want. At least with me, you can say, damn, at least bro at least he respects me enough to be honest with me. Right? Yeah, go listen to him. Listen to Jason Black. See, this is the thing. Jason Black knows you're dumb. See, Jason Black is like this. These niggas are dumb, so I'm going to give them what dumb niggas want. And you like, yeah, I'll listen to Jason Black. Yeah. Because he doesn't respect your intelligence. And you go listen to him to reinforce what he believes. Roland Martin was just going at Jason Black. So you can't say that it's just me as a black conservative saying the shit. Everyone sees it, and the people who consume it, they know. But I learned a long time ago when I was on No Jumper. Black folks want the bullshit. They don't want the real shit. They told us. They told us straight up to our faces. Nah, we like the bullshit. We like the crash outs. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. That was work. But yeah, so it's cool. Guys, look, my livelihood is not social media. And I like that because I can just kind of speak freely. I don't have to worry about, oh my God, they're going to turn me. Do you know why most of the people y'all like to watch, right? Um, uh, you know why most people who y'all watch make short clips and not lives? They make short clips because they don't really want to ever get to know you, and they don't want you to get to know them. They'll do a live every now and then, but they do nothing to let you know how they truly feel about you. There are not many people who could sit on a live stream for 3 hours and be like, hey, this is what it is, whether you like it or not. I could have gave y'all that 1 10 minute and be like, all right, cool, and y'all would have never known who I am. Right? Who had you scared? Who had you scared, Black Low-Key? No, I don't think black people are dumb. Black people are dumb. I believe there are many in our community who are devolving, and they're doing that willingly. Yeah, means look, they don't know. They don't know that I've done these debates and we've talked about this. And I got a debate on No Jumper where I debated a white supremacist, destroyed him effortlessly, literally with no effort. But that's the thing. I can put myself in y'all position and argue my way out of it, and also argue myself into the point where I realize, damn, that position is weak as fuck. There's this scripture in the Bible says all things are lawful. All things may be called lawful, but are all things advantageous? Black folks think that because something is true, that makes it inherently beneficial. That's not true. Something can be true and be crippling at the same time. Something can be true and be crippling at the same time. The white man put the drugs in the community. True. Now, I'm not going to do shit about it. I'm not going to try to get the drugs out the community or try to empower my people to let go of the drugs because the white man put them here. False. That's stupid. If that's the case, why try to do anything? And that's the mindset most black people got. Why try to do anything? It's like someone saying, voting don't matter. That's just the excuse you're using. So you don't have to do anything to have an impact on your life. See, that's what Mitt Romney meant when he was running for president. And he said, some people don't want to take control of he said, some people don't want to take responsibility for their own lives. He said, some people don't want to take responsibility for their own lives. And that's we got too many people in our community like that. How you think you got people who could sit up on welfare for 20 and 30 and 40 years, sit up on Section 8 for 10 and 20 and 15 and 50 years? Yeah, you get money, but you argue in defense of people who don't want to get money and don't want to do nothing. That is the unique thing about that is the one unique thing about the black community. Only in the black community do you have people who are incredibly successful, who defend people and make excuses for people who don't want to do nothing with their life. Don't no other community do that. No other community does that. I challenge you, go find another community where people defend people who it's starting to take more hold than white liberals. White liberals, they're starting to be like that too, though. But the thing with the white liberal is they don't really mean it. They're just doing it to get power, right? They'll say, "Oh, I'm feeding the homeless and I'm advocating for these people to do," and it's really just a ruse for them to get money. Understand that, right? Right? In the black community, we believe that being from the hood, being from violent ghetto places makes us tougher. So we'll argue and defend those places. We'll argue for and defend those places continuing to be violent. We think, our women, they think shaking your ass on social media and having unsafe sex and getting pregnant by Pookie and Ray Ray, they think that's a sign. Oh shit. They think that's a sign of like beauty and and power, right? So they'll argue and defend young women who do that, knowing ultimately that it just leads to a negative situation. You tell a young woman, look, don't be out here having unprotected sex, man. Don't be out here just opening your legs for any dude who smile at you. You can't tell her what to do with her body. You look at these women and you're like, do you want the girl to end up a statistic? And the answer is yes. Yes, they do. Because the longer they can make them a statistic, the more they feel empowered, the more they feel special about being able to get out of that situation. That's where we at with it. That is where we are with it as a community. The longer we keep other people who look like us down, the longer we can be the quote unquote only one. And that's what black people value over anything. Being the only black person to do something. Or the first black person to do something. That's all we care about. Truly. That's why we glorify black history over everything. We'll fight to defend black history, but won't fight to defend the black present. Because that's the only time we think black people was worth a damn. Back in history. We was good. We was great back then, but now we could just be fucked up. Hey, some black people do act animalistic. Right, AJ? Brandon is the problem. Yeah, you guys are funny. But it doesn't matter. Hey, I'm okay. If I'm the problem, it's a good problem to have. But thank you guys for watching this. I appreciate everything you do and don't do for the channel. Till the next time, thank you so much. Take care of yourselves, but most importantly, take care of each other. Peace.